Round 9 of the 2025 DTM would prove to be one of the most explosive races of recent times. Jack Aitken and Thierry Vermeulen rounding out the front row of the grid for Emil Frey Racing in their Ferraris. Luca Engstler, though, from the second row of the grid, split the pair at turn 1 with Ben Green in the third of the Ferraris, trying to go all the way around the outside. Everybody squeezing together into turn 2, and this is where the drama really began to unfold in what was a chaotic first lap. First of all, in the background, several drivers sent wide. Mirko Bortolotti sent into a spin. That was following contact from the BMW of three-time champion Rene Rast. Fabio Scherer right behind that, then got into a spin afterwards with some fluid on the circuit. There was a coming together between the two Porsches of Andrew Guwen, who got into a spin and would eventually retire, and his teammate Maurice Skuring, who managed to carry on but suffered with a slow race. Jules Gounon then got caught out by this, a spinning Ferrari of Thierry Vermeulen. He'd been clipped by a rejoining Maro Engel. Gounon would eventually retire from the race. The race, with all the chaos, all of the fluid on the circuit, was stopped for a while and then got back underway in single file formation. So Aitken led, Engstler second, Green up to third, and then in fourth place, the championship leader coming into the event, Lucas Auer in the Mercedes, the driver who scored his first ever pole position into the championship 10 years ago at this very circuit. A great battle then between the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. Engstler having to give way to Ben Green as the British driver got through at turn 1 to go into second place. Engstler down to third place, Auer running in fourth position. And Jordan Pepper in the top 3 in the championship, from the tail end of the top 10, moving up the order as well. A great battle then, starting with Marco Wittmann and the McLaren of Ben Durr, but then we got into the pit stop window, and the one to watch was the Audi of Ricardo Feller, which had already made its pit stop. Its tyres were up to temperature, the Swiss driver was flying. Ben Green came out of the pits as the leading pit stopper, but on cold tyres, he had to succumb to the Audi driver, so Feller through into the net lead of the race. Aitken still to make his pit stop, and Marco Wittmann from 14th on the grid, challenging for a podium as well. He had a great battle in the race with Ben Green on more than one occasion, but as he got through on Green's cold tyres, for now, the German was into a net second. Aitken then came out of the pits. Feller, a net second overall. Then, with his tyres already warm, went on the attack. Ricardo Feller side by side with Jack Aitken for the lead of the race and going through ahead of the British driver. Ricardo looking for his first podium of the season, and for Land Motorsports, first ever podium in their first season of DTM. But the fight would be on for the rest of the race, and just losing it under braking into the chicane was the Swiss driver. He put a wheel on the grass, that sent him sideways. Over the grass he went through the chicane, and he lost the lead of the race to Jack Aitken. Side by side once again were Ben Green and Marco Wittmann. This time though, the British driver coming out on top with his tyres now up to temperature. He made his way through, getting past the two-time champion and through into a potential podium. He then caught up to the lead battle. Aitken getting up the inside of Feller, nose to nose into turn 1. Ben Green waiting to pounce as well, deep into the corner for Jack Aitken, but they gave him the inside line for the left-hander at turn 2. Ben Green split the pair of them, and it was back to being a Ferrari 1-2. It had all been triggered by this move at Jack Aitken at the end of the previous lap, squeezing up the inside on the way into the Vidal chicane. Feller with nowhere to go, no contact between them, but Feller with dirty tyres then, getting a bit skittish into the final turn, which would put him on the back foot on the run down to turn 1. Next up, Marco Wittmann versus Jordan Pepper. Pepper coming up the order, having qualified 9th, started 8th on the grid after a penalty for Ben Durr. And the South African winner at the Nürburgring, firing himself through, getting the Grasser TGI Lamborghini ahead of the BMW. Jack Aitken, though, was on his way to a second victory of the 2025 season, and with it, 25 points and the championship lead. A 1-2 for the Emil Frey Racing squad, the Swiss team taking first with Jack Aitken, second with Ben Green, and a dream podium for Land Motorsports at the hands of Ricardo Feller. He came home in an excellent third place. Jordan Pepper, Marco Wittmann and Lucas Auer rounded out the top 6 with Rene Rast, Luca Engstler, Ben Durr and Thomas Preining completing the top 10 in the first race of the weekend. Jack Aitken now moving up into the championship lead ahead of Lucas Auer as we look forward to the second day of action here at the Nürburgring. What a race, what a championship this is turning into. DTM 2025 continues to thrill.